Where's my phone gone?
Here, I have my phone.
When model Holly Carpenter found herself the victim of online image theft, she found the law slow to help.
What did happen when you got impersonated?
Yeah, catfished. This guy called Chris mailed me and then he said, how come you're so chatty when we're on Tinder and stuff, but you won't reply to me on Facebook?
Yeah.
And I was like, what do you mean I don't have Tinder? And then he sent me screenshots of all these conversations of us being like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, you've been texting me as well. And I was like, no, I haven't. And he was like, you have. And he's like, oh my God, have I been catfished? And I was like, I think so. I got the mobile number and I texted them and I was like,
why didn't you ring her?
I rang her 3 times and she didn't answer. And then she's like, who's this? And I was like, this is Kev. Is this Holly Carpenter? Because the picture's me. And she's like, who wants to know? And I was like, it's Kev. And she said, Kev who? And this went on for a while. And I was like, look, I know this isn't Holly. Like, just change the photo. They got real defensive with me and was like, how would you know if I'm Holly Carpenter or not? And I was like, I'll just say it. Like, I was like, I am Holly, like, and it's not okay what you're doing to people with my name, blah, blah, blah. Because the worst thing the person actually did was they photoshopped from like my nose down, like this part of my face, onto a topless photo of a girl, like completely naked, like holding sex toys. And I was like, this is not okay. But I saved them as catfish creep.
What did she say to you?
They still have
you've
the
got
photo as their WhatsApp photo. Like an ancient
Like,
one.
so it actually looks like, because it's not just a modelling picture, do you know what I mean?
looks
She
like it's
obviously follows you
actually
on
me.
Snapchat and everything.
And then it was like, change your photo, delete the Tinder before I have to go to the guards.
Yeah.
And obviously I didn't say that I had already been to the guards and they wouldn't do anything.
Yeah.
So I wanted to sound like I was being threatening.
Why wouldn't the guards do anything though?
Well, I went in and I said, look, I have the mobile number. I've proven that they're impersonating me. I have the fact that they're in Cork.
And the fact that it's like naked stuff as well, like that's
yeah,
really
exactly,
bad for
all
you.
of that. And I was in like going into the guards, like my heart pounding and stuff, because I was thinking as well, what if this person starts following me or like...
But it could
The guards just didn't take it seriously, which was really annoying because they were like, look, you know, she's not outside your house, she's not doing anything like that. You know, you haven't had any, you haven't been threatened. Yeah. But at the same time, like when your image is your brand and your brand is your job and there's someone sending naked pictures impersonating you, like...
So when you went into the police, what did you say to them?
I just gave them the information that I had and I showed them the photos and the messages and I said that the person's probably in Cork. I said this is their number. And they weren't familiar with the app Tinder, so they said, okay, well, will you go on Tinder there and search the profile? And I was like, that's not how Tinder works. Like, you have to be near them, you know, and you have to, once you swipe left, they're gone. And they're like, what do you mean swipe? And I was like, lads, I can't sit here for half an hour explaining what Tinder is. Do you know, I felt like a bit of an idiot after going into them. Yeah. And they were really nice, but like, it was just...
You just couldn't do anything.
They didn't know what I was saying, really. And I was like, lads, please take me seriously.
She's just leaving, you're like, thanks, see you
like,
later.
Okay, bye.
But would Tinder not do anything about that?
I sent them an email, and they sent me some normal, you know, and like an email back that they'd send everyone being like, kind of basically saying there's nothing they could really do. Eventually she goes, I'm really sorry, it's just, I'm not attractive at all and I find it hard to talk to guys. So for them to send messages saying how beautiful I am, even though it was your pics, made me feel good, I'll delete everything.
Good.
I was
yeah,
like,
I'm
good.
really, because like, why would you feel sorry for her?
Yeah.
Good, I'm really sorry, delete my number, thanks. I'll delete everything, don't worry.
I could try and call her now and see if she answers.
Yeah, do.
Catfish.
Creep. Oh my God, I really hope she answers. Do you want to talk?
Yeah.
Okay, or I could talk and say, hi, I'm making a TV show
Yeah.
about catfishing, and I heard that you catfished.
Oh my God, please answer.
The number you have dialed cannot accept this call.
Why?
Please hang up and try again later.
What does that mean?
The number you have dialed cannot accept this
Is it
call.
out of service? Like if they cancelled the number?
They might have cancelled the number, yeah.
It can be hard to pursue cases of online abuse through normal police channels, so barrister Fergal Crehan runs the HIT team, helping victims to attempt civil action.
The guards don't really know much about catfishing, people taking other people's identity. What can you do to stop that?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen impersonation, all right. It's defamation. You put words in somebody else's mouth, it's defamation. And the law provides for that, but that's not cheap. Yeah. You gotta be able to find out with certainty who the person is. It's not enough to say, I'm pretty sure he was the one who did it. You have to know with some certainty.
Fergal also increasingly deals with Irish cases of revenge porn.
Sometimes it's videos or photographs that were maybe taken with the consent of the person while they were still a couple. Other times I have come across cases where it's not, where even the photograph or video itself was taken without the victim knowing about it. It can sometimes happen accompanied by blackmail, where someone says, you know, if you don't do this and this, I'm going to post this online, or I'm going to send it to your family, or maybe to your client or your employer or whatever. Sometimes it is done really mindlessly, just where, you know, this is something for the lads, this is the girl I was with the other night, you know, and there's this thing of, well, you know, we don't believe that you actually were with a girl the other night. Prove it. Show us the pictures. Sometimes it's more malicious. I've seen cases where the video or pictures are put up with the person's name, with several variations on the woman's, on the spelling of the woman's name, just to make sure that anyone who Googles her name, like say a prospective employer Googled the name, this is the first thing that comes up.
I think it's sort of a form of bullying. It's like how men bully the women that they used to be with.
It's definitely misogynist, because I haven't had a single male query. A lot of people talk about bringing in a law to change it, and I think that's a good idea, but I don't think it solves everything, because let's say you bring in a criminal law, there's a criminal case that happens in public, journalists are there, someone gets 6 months in jail or they get a fine or whatever, but the photograph is still on the internet.
Yeah.
So you get the worst of both worlds. Somebody reads in the local paper that there was a revenge porn trial, and the first thing they do is they look it up.
Yeah.
So at the very least, we need, maybe, if you're going to have that as a criminal trial, it needs to be in camera so that it happens privately and the victim's identity is protected. But what you really need is, you really need ways to get it off the internet. You know, you say it can ruin someone's life, and the internet will never forget who they are, and they'll use these incidents to define your life. But I often think, if you're some young lad who decides to share a video of a girl you've been with, well, that's who you are for the rest of your life as well.